On the scale of 10, how will you raise your honesty, sincerity, and your preparedness to meet your Maker? Between 1 and 10, give yourself a score of honesty, sincerity, being truthful, being genuine, original, especially when it has come to the concept of heaven and God's approval. The book of Exodus chapter 20 talked about God's 10 commandments. Yes, you got to honor God. You don't have any other God. You don't bow down to any other thing. In your closet, what do you bow down to? Oh, not a God, but a demigod, a man, a woman whom you worship. Can you also remember the Bible has said that thou shalt not steal? Are you stealing? Thou shalt not kill. Are you killing? In what way? In what form? You must not slander your neighbor, telling lies, or writing something which is not correct. Libel. Is it in your own dictionary? Do we tell lies? In fact, it is clearly written that you must not covet your neighbor's wife or your neighbor's husband. You must be faithful. You should also honor your father and your mother. There's so many laws there. I mean, on the scale of 1 to 10, how will you rate yourself? That does not mean that people who actually said they are honest are really honest. That does not mean people we look down on are always dishonest. How do you classify it? How do you class yourself or group yourself? How do you scale yourself? Let's consider a simple aspect. This is about you now. Your age. How old are you? How old do you have on paper? I mean, how old really are you? Based on that, you have a different age on paper and your real age. Are you ready to meet your Maker? The question is, why will you do that? You might be a fantastic man, a fantastic lady. In fact, you might be in a specific position of authority and people respect you, but you have committed that error maybe many years back. It can be corrected. Especially before you get your last certificate. You want to ask me what the last certificate is? Your first certificate is your birth certificate. You can use it. Certain schools will ask, where is her birth certificate? Because you will need it. And you will always claim that age. Some people got birth certificate, but they went ahead to do affidavit. Why? Because they must lie. They must lie about their age for whatever reason, either to be in employment, either to secure certain employment. I don't know. But the question is, how prepared are you to meet your Maker? Because everybody will make the Maker. God is not in a hurry. He is not. Still on the scale of 1 to 10, how prepared are you to meet your Maker, especially on the area of age? You think it is something small in the sight of the Lord that you are lying when the Bible says in the book of Revelation chapter 21, you know, that no liar will make heaven. They are classified with the warmongers, the sorcerers, the killers, and all that. Can't you do something about it when you are still active? On the account of your finances and honesty, what can you say about that? Can you really tell your partner exactly how much you have? Can you tell him, can you tell her their asset hidden somewhere? Can you tell her, can you tell him your liabilities? Can you ever be straightforward to let that person know some of your other activities? It is after people die that you realize that they have one child or two children somewhere, or they have a wife somewhere, or they are having a man friend or men friend elsewhere, or somebody's children really is nursed and nurtured in another person's house. On the scale of 1 to 10, can you judge how well prepared you are to meet your master? The question is, why do we do what we do? Why? To remain in employment? To receive the praise or appraisal of people? I'm just asking, why? Why the Bible says that all of us will give account of whatever we have done before the law in his judgment seat? How prepared are we to meet our maker? How prepared? Whatever we see, whatever we use here, is interesting. Now, let me ask you this. How many books did Jesus write? How many books? He didn't write any book. How many years did he spend in the ministry? Only 3 years. And it transformed everything. It transformed the entire world. How many years have we spent? Are we able to transform our lives, let alone the lives of our home, family, immediate family, family of origin as well? What made the difference? How many cars, how many horses did Jesus have? Why do we keep deceiving ourselves that we're right, we're correct, even when we know that we are lying? The Bible says no liar, no single liar will be able to make heaven. Let's be careful. It is needful that we should be careful. Please look inward. The question I've asked is, how prepared are you to meet your maker? Anything can happen anytime, but how prepared are you to meet your maker? If you are not congruent in how much you have, if you are not congruent with relationships you have had elsewhere, if you are not congruent with your age, just because you want to stay in employment or for whatever reason, if we are not congruent in the area of dealing with our neighbors and our neighbors' partners, then what is left? If we are not honest in dealing with our parents, honoring them, then what are we left with? If we do everything just to please ourselves, and we think that everything ends here on earth, I do not think so. I think it is high time we did something about it. My question remains, on the scale of 1 to 10, or rather will I say on the scale of 10, picking from 1, 2, 3, 4 down to 10, How will you rate yourself or your preparedness to meet your maker? Who is more valuable, you or the people you fear? What is more valuable, your life or the property you pursue? Of course, it is you. You are more valuable. And God said that if they were wise, they would have considered their hand. God said you should not be afraid of someone that can only kill you and bury you or throw you out, but you should be afraid of somebody that can kill you and throw you to hell. And you might spend the rest of your life there. That is the person you should be afraid of. Not somebody that boasts, not somebody that threatens you, not somebody you plan to please. Don't please anyone. Please your maker and be comfortable about whatever you want to do. That is the question I have for you. On the scale of 10, how prepared are you to meet your God in the area of sincerity, honesty? Honesty with your wife, sincerity with your husband, that you are open and you are congruent. You mean what you say and you say what you mean. On the account of that, how well are you prepared? When the Bible says everybody should speak the truth, but truth might not be part of your diction, it's not in your archives, it's not in your encyclopedia, it's not in your dictionary. Deception is very frequent. How well prepared are you? Can we not call a spade a spade? Why do we go ahead deceiving ourselves? Why would A go ahead and deceive himself or herself? Before you deceive others, you first deceive yourself. You see, we go around pretending as if everything is okay, while nothing really is okay. I think we should do something before it is too late. Before we die or before we are incarcerated. Before we cannot be conscious of our actions or what we are doing any longer. We shall all stand before the judgment seat of God one day. The question is, how well prepared are you? And I've said, on the scale of 10, rate yourself. Can you ever make it? Then the question I should ask you is, what exactly should you do? Taking action. Do something about it. Nobody can force you. Nobody ever plunges you to do anything you are doing willingly. You have accepted to do it, and possibly because it pays. Think about it. Think about it. I will here again make a reference to a book. Will serious Christians go to hell just because of little lies? Christians, can people who are very sincere, honest, I'm putting them in quote, serious ones, can they go to hell? Can God bend the rule just because they were committed? Certain things were committed by Christians. Okay, let me try to bend the rule so that I can cover it. Is God partial? We are told that God is impartial. Can serious Christians go to hell just because of little lies? You want to know more about it? Get to www.christianmatthewbooks.org. You can have a digital copy there. How honest, how sincere are you to yourself, to your people, to your nation, of course to God? One day, we shall give account. These are rhetoric questions. I want you to ponder on it. We are adult, we are mature, we are serious. We should be able to know whether or not we are on the right track. Are you on the right track? Am I on the right track? Why do I deceive myself? Why do you deceive yourself? Why do we deceive ourselves? That is what I want you to ponder on now. Thank you.